Okay, so when your paycheck hits your bank account, what's the very first thing you do? Like, seriously, do you immediately rush off to pay bills, maybe treat yourself a little, or just try to move a bit into savings? If you nodded yes to any of those, look, you're definitely not alone. But you might be making a mistake that's, well, costing you more money than you realize. Because here's the thing, for 2025, earning that salary, that's really only half the game. The other half, maybe the more important half, is knowing exactly what to do with it the second it arrives. Without that immediate, intentional action, you're kind of watching your money's potential just drain away.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. That's our mission here. We've gone through Mastering Your Paycheck, a 2025 wealth guide, and pulled out the absolute key insights to give you a shortcut, really. We want to show you how to flip that script, turn your salary from just, the end goal into the actual start of a much more powerful financial plan. You'll definitely walk away knowing more about this. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Yeah, because most of us were sort of taught to see the paycheck as the reward, right? Like, okay, mission accomplished, got paid. But this guide, Mastering Your Paycheck, it says we need a big mindset shift here. Something's got to flip. Your salary isn't the end, it's the beginning, the launch pad for what comes next.
Absolutely. And here's the maybe harsh truth. If that what comes next plan doesn't actively include growing your money, well, you're falling behind. You're not just treading water. You're actually losing ground because of that silent drain on your buying power that most people just aren't factoring in.
That's a really powerful point. Let's make it concrete. The guide uses an example, right? Let's say you're making, 100,000 rupees a month. That's pretty good, right? Respectable. But the challenge is, in 2025, inflation, especially in places like Pakistan or India, maybe other fast-growing economies, it's quietly eating away at what that 100K can actually buy.
Exactly. The numbers in the guide are pretty stark. If you're just parking that money in a standard savings account, maybe earning, 4% interest? But inflation's pushing closer to 10%, sometimes even higher in certain areas, you are effectively losing purchasing power every single year. Your 100K today just won't stretch as far next year. Simple as that. And this really changes the fundamental question, doesn't it? It stops being, how much do I earn? And starts being, okay, how much does my money earn for me once I get paid?
Right. Okay, so if job one is to preserve and grow the money, what's the first step? Strategy one. The 2025 Wealth Guide really emphasizes something we're seeing more of this year. People finally getting the power of automation. Now, I know it sounds maybe a bit cold or boring even, but listen, it's genuinely one of the smartest moves you can make.
Yeah, the idea is pretty straightforward. Your salary needs to sort of know where to go the instant it lands. Think of it like setting up a little team of employees for your money. You automate transfers for investments, for savings, definitely for bills, and yes, even for your guilt-free spending money. It just turns that lump sum into like a well-oiled machine.
And the magic is, it just happens without you thinking about it, right? Because let's be honest, when we rely purely on willpower to save or invest, we often fail. Life happens, things come up. But when you automate it, you basically win by default. You've set yourself up for success.
Oh, it's incredibly effective. I have a friend, Ahmed. He's 29, works in IT. Great example. For years, he did the usual thing, spend first, save whatever was left over. He'd always say, oh, I'll invest when I have some extra cash. But, extra that just never seemed to show up. Then, about 2 years back, he just decided, okay, automate. Set up a simple standing order. Send 10% of his salary straight into a mutual fund, another 5% into a high-yield savings account, and then 10% into a dollar-based crypto savings wallet, which, that's basically earning interest on crypto pegged to the US dollar. Nothing super fancy, just automatic, consistent. And 2 years later, his portfolio just grew quietly in the background. He told me he barely even missed the money from his monthly budget. And that, connecting it back, that's the beauty of automation. It takes the emotion out, takes the friction out, takes the excuses away. It just builds wealth while you live your life.
That's a fantastic story. It really shows the power of just setting it and forgetting it in a good way. Okay, so beyond managing the money you have, the guide also talks about investing in yourself. We hear that term self-investment, but why does it matter so much right now in 2025?
Look, it's almost existential at this point. Seriously, the job market is changing incredibly fast. AI is doing things now that, frankly, we thought only humans could do just a few years ago. Writing reports, optimizing complex systems, whole industries are being reshaped. So if you're not actively using some of your income to upgrade your skills to stay relevant, you are unfortunately risking becoming replaceable. And I don't just mean go get another 4-year degree. That's not always practical. I'm talking about targeted stuff.
Yeah.
Online certification, specific niche training, even just learning the new software tools everyone in your field is starting to use. Just setting aside maybe 5% of your income each month could fund that. Think of it like future-proofing your career. You really don't want to be looking back saying, man, I wish I'd learned that skill when I had the chance.
That's super practical. So if someone's thinking, okay, I need to upskill, how do they figure out which skills or certifications are actually worth it in this crazy market? Does the guide offer any pointers there?
That's a great question. The guide actually emphasizes looking for skills that complement AI rather than directly compete with it. So things like critical thinking, complex problem solving, creativity, emotional intelligence, the human stuff. Also, interdisciplinary skills. On the tech side, yeah, data science is still huge. Cybersecurity, advanced digital marketing, maybe some specialized coding in new areas. It's really about finding that sweet spot where human smarts meet what the tech can do.
Makes sense. Okay, while we're talking about making money work for you, we got to talk about the thing that often works against you, debt. And this one's tricky, right? Because not all debt is necessarily bad debt.
You're absolutely right. There's good debt, like maybe a mortgage or a student loan, under reasonable terms. But the bad kind, yeah, that's the high interest stuff. Usually credit cards, maybe those really expensive personal loans. That debt is like a silent killer for your finances. Seriously, if you're finding your salary just goes towards making minimum payments on that stuff, you're basically stuck in quicksand. The interest is just eating you alive faster than you can earn. The guide is really clear on this. Financial wellness in 2025 isn't just about investing more. It's fundamentally about getting out from under the weight of that bad debt. You absolutely need an aggressive, focused plan to pay it off.
Yeah, it's like you're constantly paying for yesterday's choices, which is just draining. Okay, so beyond debt, let's talk about something that sounds maybe small, but the guide says it makes a huge psychological difference, creating separate bank accounts.
Oh, it's a total game changer, psychologically. It's pretty straightforward, actually. The recommendation is basically one account just for bills, another one purely for savings, one for your everyday spending money, and maybe another one for specific big goals like saving for a down payment or a big trip. Why? Well, think about it. When all your money just sits in one big pot, it feels like it's all available to spend right now. But when you split it up intentionally, give each bit a job, you automatically start treating it differently. You become much more mindful. You tend to stop those, late night impulse buys online that totally wreck your budget. You're essentially giving every rupee of your salary a specific purpose.
That mindfulness piece really resonates. Okay, and here's something else people maybe underestimate, how easy it is to invest now. And no, like you said, not talking about betting the farm on some crazy crypto coin. I mean, micro investments. What does that actually look like today?
It's actually really exciting. The barriers to entry, they basically vanished. You've got all these digital platforms now where you can start investing almost nothing. Seriously, we're talking 500 rupees, maybe 1,000 rupees, amounts that seemed kind of laughable for investing just a few years back. The key thing isn't the starting amount, it's building the habit, the consistency. And you can get into so much now. Fractional shares of big companies, broad index funds, gold-backed savings accounts, even fractional real estate, owning a tiny piece of a property. The guide really highlights how access to these tools is just exploding, and every single rupee you invest, no matter how small it feels. It's like planting a seed. And in 2025, those seeds can potentially grow much faster than they used to.
Okay, now, I know listening to all this, it can feel like a lot, maybe a bit overwhelming. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, look, I barely make enough to cover everything right now. How can I even think about investing or automating? And listen, I totally get that. Life is expensive, no doubt about it.
And that is exactly why the guide stresses this point so much. This isn't about making huge, scary changes overnight. It's about small, consistent steps. Really, even just putting aside 500 rupees a month, it genuinely matters. It's not really about the amount at the very beginning. It's about building the discipline, making it automatic, because that discipline, it compounds, just like your money eventually will. And the earlier you start, even if it feels tiny, the stronger your financial foundation gets down the road.
Yeah.
Your future self will definitely thank you for it.
So if we had to boil everything down from mastering your paycheck, a 2025 wealth guy, like the one single most crucial thing you absolutely have to do with your salary in 2025, what is it?
It's this: make a plan. Simple as that. And not just, a vague idea rattling around in your head, a written plan, an automated plan, an intentional plan for every single rupee, every dollar you earn.
A plan that kind of covers all the bases we talked about, right?
Exactly.
A plan that, number 1, respects your bills and obligations. Number 2, actively grows your money through smart investing. Number 3, systematically tackles and pays down that bad debt. Number 4, includes improving your skills. And number 5, yes, still leaves room for some joy. For purposeful spending, it's not about total deprivation. But here's the stark warning from the guide, and it's worth repeating. If your money doesn't have a specific intentional plan dictated by you, then trust me, it's already being spent. It's being set up by someone else, by the bank in fees, by brands through clever marketing, by the algorithms nudging your next purchase.
Look, you work way too hard to just be scraping by, to just be surviving financially. You wake up, you put in the hours, you grind, you chase your goals, all that energy.
Then what unseen forces those spending algorithms, the little whispers of buy it now, the slow creep of inflation, what forces are actually dictating where your money goes, and by extension, where your financial future is headed?
Take control. Go make that plan today.